Welcome back to Love Hackers, the daily dose of dating advice that gets you results. I'm Alex Carter, your co-host.
And I'm Sophie Tanaka, here to help you understand the psychology behind successful dating.
Today we're doing a deep dives into a topic you guys specifically requested, and that is flirting with older women.
Mm.
You're looking for an edge. You're looking for some insights into what works and what doesn't. And let me tell you, the research we've gathered for you is fascinating.
Oh, I think it'll be really useful for them.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. One of the things that jumped out at me is the idea that older women might be more forgiving when it comes to flirting. Now, I know we always emphasize effort and authenticity here at Love Hackers, but does this mean we can relax a little bit, maybe not stress so much about every little detail?
That's a really great question, and you know the answer is a bit nuanced. It's true that older women tend to be more discerning in their choices. They're not simply responding to the loudest or most flamboyant display. They're looking for substance. They're looking for a connection that goes beyond the superficial.
So they're not necessarily spoiled for choice, like some younger women might be.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're less likely to be swayed by just a charming smile and a witty one-liner.
Precisely. As women mature, the dating pool naturally shrinks, and they become more selective about who they invest their time and energy in. And this means they're less likely to dismiss someone based on a slightly awkward approach or a less than perfect pickup line. They're more interested in what you have to offer as a person, your character, your values, your ability to engage in meaningful conversation.
Okay, that's actually quite reassuring. It takes some of the pressure off, knowing that I don't have to be a flawless Casanova to make a good impression. But of course, we're not saying effort doesn't matter.
Absolutely not. Effort is always important. It shows you care that you're willing to put in the time to get to know someone. But the type of effort that resonates with older women might be different from what works with younger women. It's less about flashy displays and more about demonstrating genuine interest, being a good listener, and showing that you value their experience and perspective.
So less peacocking, more genuine connection. I like it. Now, this research also highlighted two specific strategies for flirting with older women: teasing and rapport. What do you make of those?
Both are incredibly important, but let's unpack them because the way they're applied in this context can be a bit different. Teasing, for example, is a powerful tool for building attraction, but it's about finding the right balance between playful banter and respect.
Right. We don't want to come across as disrespectful or condescending, especially when dealing with someone who likely has more life experience than us.
Exactly. The key here is to tease gently, with a twinkle in your eye. Think of it as a way of creating a shared joke, a little moment of intimacy and connection. You might playfully call out their immaturity for enjoying a certain band, or gently tease a small blunder they make.
Okay, give me an example. What would that sound like in a real-world scenario?
Let's say you're out for coffee and they accidentally spill their drink. Instead of awkwardly apologizing profusely, you could say something like, "Wow, you're really good at disarming a latte. I've never seen anyone take down a caffeine fix so quickly."
Right.
Deliver it with a smile and a touch of humor, and it creates a lighthearted, playful vibe.
I see what you mean. It acknowledges the situation, but doesn't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
And the humor adds a little spark, a sense that you're comfortable enough to be playful.
Exactly. It shows confidence and a sense of humor, two qualities that are incredibly attractive to women of all ages, but especially to those who have the experience to appreciate them. Now, let's move on to rapport. This is all about establishing a genuine connection, a sense of trust and comfort. And this is where taking your time becomes crucial.
So we're not rushing into a date. We're focusing on building that foundation first.
Precisely. Rushing things can be a red flag, especially for mature women who are often more cautious and discerning. They've learned to prioritize quality connections over fleeting encounters. So instead of trying to secure a date immediately, focus on getting to know them, asking meaningful questions, and showing that you're genuinely interested in who they are as a person. And this might involve sharing some of your own experiences and vulnerabilities. It's about showing that you're a real person, not just a facade. Remember, older women have a wealth of life experience, and they appreciate authenticity.
That reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about how older women are less likely to be swayed by superficial displays. They're looking for depth. They're looking for substance.
Absolutely, and that's what makes connecting with them so rewarding. The conversations are often more stimulating. The connections are more profound. It's a different kind of dating experience, one that prioritizes quality over quantity.
You know, it's funny. I think a lot of guys, myself included, have these preconceived notions about dating older women. We assume it's going to be all about impressing them with our youthfulness or our accomplishments. But what you're saying is it's actually much simpler than that. It's about being genuine, being respectful, and being interested in who they are as individuals.
That's the heart of it, really. It's about recognizing that age is just a number, and that true connection transcends those superficial boundaries. Now, speaking of connections, you mentioned that your research also touched on online dating as a way to meet older women.
Yes. And it's specifically recommended a few websites, but I'd love to hear your general advice on navigating that world. It can be a bit of a minefield, especially when you're trying to connect with a specific demographic.
Absolutely. Online dating can be a fantastic tool, but it's important to approach it strategically. When it comes to attracting older women online, there are a few key things to keep in mind. First and foremost, your profile needs to reflect who you are authentically. Skip the generic pickup lines and cheesy bios. Instead, focus on showcasing your personality, your interests, what makes you unique.
So it's about being genuine, both in our interactions and in our online presentation. No more hiding behind carefully curated facades.
Exactly. And remember, presentation goes beyond just your written profile. Your photos are equally important. Choose images that are clear, well lit, and reflect your best self. A professional headshot can be a great option, or even a nice photo taken by a friend in natural lighting.
I guess that's good advice for anyone using online dating, not just those specifically targeting older women.
You're right. First impressions are crucial regardless of who you're trying to attract. But there's another aspect of online dating that can be particularly challenging for men, and that's overthinking. We analyze every message, every response, trying to decipher hidden meanings. Oh, tell me about it. Did she mean to use that emoji? Was her response too short? Does she even like me? It's exhausting.
It is. And here's the thing. Overthinking can actually sabotage your chances of making a genuine connection. So here's a little piece of advice, especially when interacting with older women online. If she's engaging in conversation with you, responding to your messages, and asking questions, it's a pretty safe bet that she's interested.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's reassuring to hear. I think a lot of guys need that reminder. We tend to get caught up in our own heads and miss the obvious signs.
It happens. But remember, mature women are typically more confident and direct in their communication. They're less likely to play games or send mixed signals. So if she's taking the time to chat with you, take it as a good sign and relax. Let the conversation flow naturally.
Okay, so less overthinking, more trusting the process. Got it. What else should we keep in mind when navigating the online dating world? Well, one thing that often surprises men is that older women appreciate a certain level of boldness. They're not looking for someone who's timid or hesitant.
So should we be more direct, more assertive in our approach?
Within reason, yes.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to initiate conversations, ask engaging questions, and even suggest meeting up when the time feels right.
Yeah.
Of course, this should always be done respectfully and with sensitivity to her comfort level, but the point is, don't be afraid to take the lead.
Interesting. So we're combining confidence with respect, directness with sensitivity. It's about finding that sweet spot.
Exactly. And finally, and this applies to online dating in general, try to move the conversation offline as soon as it feels natural. Don't linger in endless messaging limbo. Once you've established a bit of rapport, suggest exchanging numbers or having a phone call.
Why is that so important?
It demonstrates that you're serious about getting to know her, that you're not just looking for a casual online flirtation. It also allows for a more natural, flowing conversation where you can hear her voice and get a better sense of her personality.
It takes it beyond the screen and into a more personal space.
Exactly. It's a crucial step in building that genuine connection we've been talking about.
Okay, so we've covered authenticity, presentation, confidence, and taking things offline. That's a lot of great advice. And before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to those specific websites you mentioned earlier. The research highlighted Cougar Life, eHarmony, and AFF. What can you tell us about them?
Well, Cougar Life, as the name suggests, is specifically designed for connecting younger men with older women. It caters to a specific niche and can be a great option if that's the type of connection you're seeking. eHarmony, on the other hand, is a more general dating site known for its in-depth matching system. It takes into account your personality, values, and relationship goals, which can be helpful in finding compatible partners regardless of age. And AFF, well, it's more geared towards casual encounters and might not be the best fit if you're looking for a serious relationship.
So there are options for everyone depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
That's good to know. We've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, it's been great.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are ready to explore the world of dating older women?
I would say approach it with confidence and an open mind. Don't let societal norms or preconceived notions hold you back. Older women can be incredible partners. They're experienced, confident, and often have a refreshing perspective on life and relationships. Embrace the opportunity to learn from them and connect on a deeper level.
It's about challenging those assumptions
Hmm.
and seeing the individual, not just the age.
Precisely. And remember, dating should be fun. It's an adventure, a chance to connect with someone special. So relax, be yourself, and see where the connection takes you.
I love that. Such great advice. This deep dive has been eye-opening. So to recap for you, listener, authenticity, rapport, and a dash of playful teasing are your keys to success when flirting with older women. And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. You never know what amazing connections you might find.
It's been a pleasure.
That's all for today's episode of Love Hackers. I'm Alex Carter.
And I'm Sophie Tanaka.
Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode with your friends. Until next time, happy dating, everyone.